The exhaustion should have been just another detail Mun Geong ignored. Another invisible burden carried by an invisible woman who cleaned his mansion twice a week. But when Wanda Miller swayed on her feet in his grand hall, something ancient and protective roared to life inside him. He'd killed men for less than the fear he felt watching her fall. "You called for me, sir?" Wanda's voice sounded distant, strained. She stood 20 feet away, Maid's uniform perfectly pressed despite the fact that she was clearly unwell. Her dark skin had an ashen quality. Her hands trembled around the cleaning supplies. She dropped everything to answer his summons. Geong had been about to dismiss her, tell her the task could wait until tomorrow. But something in the way she swayed stopped him cold. "Wanda." His voice came out sharper than intended. "When did you last eat?" She blinked at the question, confusion crossing her face. This morning, sir. I'm fine, She wasn't fine. Geong saw at the moment her eyes lost focus. Saw her knees buckle. Saw her falling toward his marble floor, toward consequences that would break more than just bones. He moved faster than his men had ever seen him move. Crossed 20 feet in seconds. Dropped to his knees and caught her before impact. Gathered her against his chest with gentleness that contradicted every rumor about him. His guards froze. The household staff stared. Because in 15 years of ruthless control, Mun Geong had never shown concern for anyone. Not once. Not ever. "Wanda." His voice cracked. Actually cracked. "Look at me. Open your eyes." Her head lolled against his shoulder. Unconscious. Completely limp in his arms. For the first time in his criminal reign, the most feared man in Seoul was terrified. One of his lieutenants stepped forward. "Sir, should I call?" "Get out." Geong's voice was deadly quiet. "All of you. Now." They scattered like leaves before a storm. Geong stood, Wanda cradled in his arms as if she weighed nothing, and carried her toward his private quarters, a space no employee had ever entered. His hand shook slightly. His jaw was clenched so tight it ached. He'd seen men die, had killed some himself, had stood unmoved through betrayals, bullets, and bloodshed. But watching Wanda collapse had shattered something fundamental in him. Wanda Miller had cleaned Geong's mansion for 6 months without truly seeing him. He was a presence. Expensive suits, quiet footsteps moving through rooms like a ghost, the scent of sandalwood and danger that lingered after he left. She knew the important things. He paid triple the standard rate, never made messes, and expected absolute invisibility from his staff. Invisibility was Wanda's specialty. 28 years of being a single black mother in Seoul had taught her how to move through spaces without disturbing the air. She folded herself smaller on subway cars, quieted her voice around important people, perfected the art being present without being seen. It was survival. It was safety. It was exhausting. Today, that careful invisibility shattered. She'd skipped breakfast. Malik's school supplies came first. Skipped lunch. Rent was due in 3 days, and she was short again. The protein bar in her purse was for her son's after-school snack, so she left it untouched. The mansion was silent when she arrived at 2 p.m., her usual time. Geong was rarely home during her shifts, a small mercy she'd counted on today because her vision kept blurring and her hands wouldn't stop shaking. She moved through the expansive living room with its floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seoul, the city sprawling beneath like a kingdom. His kingdom. She'd heard the other staff whisper. Mun Geong owned half of Gangnam's legitimate businesses and all of its shadows. The restaurants were legal. Everything else existed in darkness. Wanda didn't care about his business. She cared about the weekly paycheck that kept Malik fed, clothed, and safe. She was dusting the antique bookshelf, leather-bound volumes in Korean and English, untouched and perfect. When she heard footsteps behind her, her heart lurched. He was never home early. "Wanda." His voice came from directly behind her, accented but smooth, each word precisely chosen. She turned slowly, keeping her expression neutral, professional. "Yes, sir." Geong stood 5 feet away, and up close, he was devastating. Sharp jawline, dark eyes that seemed to see through every defense she'd built, black hair styled with casual perfection. He wore a white dress shirt with the sleeves rolled up, revealing forearms marked with scars that told stories she didn't want to know. But it was his expression that made her breath catch. He wasn't looking at her with the distant politeness she was used to. He was studying her with an intensity that made her skin prickle with awareness. "When did you last eat?" he asked. The question threw her. This morning, sir." His eyes narrowed. "Don't lie to me." Wanda's throat tightened. "I'm fine. I just need to finish." "You're swaying." His voice was flat, factual. Your hands are shaking. Your lips have no color. He stepped closer. How many jobs are you working? The room tilted slightly. Wanda gripped the bookshelf to steady herself. That's not relevant to my work here, sir. Answer the question. 3. The admission escaped before she could stop it. 3 jobs. But I'm managing fine. The world swam. Her knees buckled. She felt herself falling toward the marble, toward disaster, toward consequences she couldn't afford. Then strong arms caught her, pulled her against a solid chest, held her with shocking gentleness. I've got you, Geong's voice murmured near her ear. Wanda, stay with me. Open your eyes. But she couldn't. The exhaustion she'd been fighting for months finally won. Darkness pulled her under. The last thing she registered was Geong's voice, raw with something that sounded like panic. Don't you dare leave me. Not like this. What Wanda didn't know was that Mun Geong had been watching her for months, studying her patterns, noticing how she limped after long shifts, how she hit her cracked phone screen with a picture of a smiling little boy, how she ate nothing during work hours, just drank water and kept moving. What Wanda didn't know was that seeing her collapse triggered something buried deep in Geong's past, a memory of someone else he'd failed to save, someone who died because he hadn't acted fast enough. What Wanda didn't know was that from the moment he caught her, everything changed. The ruthless Mafia boss who'd spent 15 years building walls around his heart suddenly had a weakness. And in Seoul's criminal underworld, weakness was a death sentence. If you're hooked, hit that subscribe button now. Drop a fire if you're already obsessed with Geong protecting Wanda. The next part reveals what happens when she wakes up in his private quarters and realizes the most dangerous man in Seoul has been watching her for months. You do not want to miss this. Wanda woke to silk sheets and soft lighting, the smell of expensive cologne, sandalwood, and something darker filled unfamiliar air. Confusion gave way to panic when she saw him. Geong sat beside the bed, white shirt sleeves rolled to his elbows, exhaustion carved into his handsome face. He'd been watching her sleep. You collapsed from malnutrition and exhaustion. His voice was controlled, but his hands trembled slightly against his knees. When was the last time you actually ate? Wanda tried to sit up. He stopped her with gentle pressure. Rest. I've already called the doctor. I can't afford. You work 3 jobs. Geong's tone sharpened. I know. I've known for months. The admission hung heavy. Why you limp after long shifts? Why you hide your cracked phone with your son's picture? Why you eat nothing during work hours? Horror bloomed in Wanda's chest. He'd been watching her, studying her, seeing her when she worked so hard to remain invisible. Someone has to care whether you live or die, Wanda. His eyes burned into hers. Since you clearly don't, I will. You're not working tomorrow, or the next day, or until a doctor clears you. It wasn't a request. It was a declaration. Wanda's fear wasn't him. It was a wise soul's most dangerous man suddenly cared. Like if this gave you chills. Subscribe, asterisk, asterisk. 2 weeks later, asterisk, Wanda returns to work. Against doctor's orders, against Geong's direct command. She needs the money. He says nothing, but his jaw tightens when he sees her. The discovery, asterisk, Wanda finds rent receipts she didn't pay. Bills mysteriously cleared. Her landlord suddenly forgetting she was 3 months behind. When she confronts Geong, he doesn't deny it. You needed help. I needed to handle it myself. Her voice cracks. You had no right. His truth, asterisk. I had every right the moment you collapsed in my arms, and I thought you were dying. His control slips. Do you know what that felt like? Watching you fall and realizing I might lose you before I ever... He stops. Doesn't finish. The threat, asterisk, that night. Rival gang members follow Wanda home. They've noticed Geong's unusual interest. Assume she must be valuable to him. When Malik doesn't come home from school, Wanda knows they've taken her son. Her choice, asterisk, she goes to Geong. Terrified, furious, desperate. They have Malik, because of you. Because you couldn't just let me be invisible. Geong's expression turns deadly. Then I'll remind them why crossing me is a death sentence. Geong mobilized his entire organization within minutes of discovering Malik's abduction. No sleep, no mercy. Every contact called. Every favor demanded. His men had never seen him like this. Desperate, furious, personally involved. The cold, calculated crime lord had transformed into something primal and terrifying. 12 hours later, Geong found the warehouse where they'd taken Malik. The confrontation was brutal. He fought like a man possessed, moving through his enemies with lethal precision born of pure rage. When he emerged carrying a terrified but unhurt 5-year-old, his white shirt was soaked with blood that wasn't his. Wanda collapsed when she saw her son safe. Not from exhaustion this time, from relief so overwhelming it shattered her completely. She sobbed, reaching for Malik with shaking hands. Geong knelt, carefully placing the boy in her arms, his bloodied hands gentle despite everything. "You started a war for us." Wanda's voice shook. "You risked everything. I would burn this entire city for you." Geong's voice was raw, stripped of all pretense. "Don't you understand yet? You're not my maid. You've never been just my maid." For the first time in his life, Mun Geong knelt before someone and apologized. "I put you in danger by caring, by being unable to hide what you mean to me. I'm sorry." Wanda saw him then, truly saw him, the man behind the reputation. Broken, honest, hers. In the aftermath, Geong offered Wanda everything: money, safety, a new life far from Seoul. "You and Malik can disappear. New identities. I'll make sure you're protected but never bothered again. And you," Wanda asked quietly, "you'll stay here. Keep being the monster everyone fears. Keep being alone." It wasn't a question. It was an accusation. "I've been alone for 15 years. I'll survive." But his voice broke slightly. "As long as I know you're safe, that's enough." Wanda took his face in her hands. This man who'd started a war for her son, whose reputation made grown men tremble, who'd finally made her feel seen. "What if I don't want to leave? What if I want the man who caught me when I fell? Who declared war for my son? Who kneels before me covered in blood?" 6 months later, Wanda no longer cleaned Geong's mansion. She lived in it. Malik called him Hyung and fell asleep on his shoulder during movies. The underworld whispered about how the ruthless Mun Geong had been brought to his knees by a black single mother. He didn't care. Every night, he came home to her. Every night, she chose him. The monster everyone feared had found his humanity in a woman who collapsed from exhaustion and changed everything. Asterisk, they tried to break her with poverty and pride. But Wanda turned survival into strength and loneliness into love. She found her power not in a dress or revenge, but in a man who finally saw her worth. Asterisk. Subscribe for stories where the broken save each other. Comment red heart if you believe love finds us when we finally stop pretending.